Hello, welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I'll be your host today, and hopefully some people will be showing up and it'll be a meeting. And in the meantime, hello. I don't know whether to read from the Smart Recovery Handbook or DBT. I was kind of leaning toward DBT, kind of getting to know what it is. This book is called DBT Explained. It's by Suzette Bray, and an introduction to essential dialectical behavior therapy concepts, practices, and skills. And the kind of things that it helps address are anger and aggression, anxiety and depression, borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, substance abuse, and other difficulties. I may start at substance abuse, like what specifically it does to help it. Hello, Misha. Hi. Let me put the link in here. Let's see if anybody wants to come in and have a meeting on camera. And if not, the chat's good too. Whatever you like. When people struggle with drugs and alcohol because they lean on substances to help them regulate their emotions, DBT can be really helpful in teaching skills that can help them break that cycle. There are even distress tolerance for when the crisis is addiction. These include dialectical abstinence, which is making a plan for abstinence while at the same time planning for lapses, learning to replace addiction reinforcers with abstinence reinforcers, burning bridges to things and people that make your addiction possible, and finding alternative ways to rebel if your reasons for addictive behavior have an element of rebellion to them. Hi, Zelda. Hi, Plant Freak. Hi, you guys. Hey, there she is. Hi, Christy.
Hey.
How
I'm
are
trying
you?
this from good. I'm trying this from my phone again today because my computer just doesn't want to cooperate.
Okay.
So I might not be able to see the chat as you're reading. I'm going to try to pull it up on my computer
Okay.
and see. But I don't know what's going on with my computer.
So Misha's testing out new camera stuffs and working behind the scenes today. Can't join just yet. Here in spirit, love, and sometimes text. Okay. All
That's
righty.
awesome.
Yay. Okay.
Wonderful.
Well,
Wonderful.
best wishes with that. Hope that goes well.
Yes. Good luck. Good
All
luck.
righty. So I was reading how DBT helps with substance abuse
Oh, nice. Okay.
and other difficulties. I'll just finish this up and then we'll do takeaways another time. With DBT, how am I sounding? I moved the mic this time.
You sound great. Yeah,
Okay.
you sound good. Yeah.
With DBT being effective for so many populations and mental health concerns, it's understandable why DBT is now being applied to all kinds of populations. DBT has been found to be evidence-based for suicidal and self-harming adolescents. DBT is also being offered in some schools as a regular part of the curriculum to teach life skills to the mainstream student population. A randomized controlled trial has shown DBT to be effective for children with severe emotional and behavioral discontrol, and DBT skills are being used to help folks dealing with fear, sadness, and physical pain of cancer. Wow. Lady Gaga and Selena Gomez have gone public with how DBT has helped them. DBT is everywhere.
I love that. Oh, did I freeze? Okay.
Thank
Hold
you,
on.
Plant Freak. Hello, Seventh Son. Tommy is still alive, but I put a link so maybe we can get some after work. Tommy wraps up. That'll be great.
Nice.
Thank you so much for
Hey.
that. I appreciate it.
Yes. All right. Okay. So I think I've got this. I've got the chat pulled up on my computer and I can talk on my phone. All right. And there's Steve.
And there's
Yay.
Steve.
Yeah.
Um, my temperature's still over. It's like 100.1.
Oh no.
Is it infection or something? Have you had it? Do you have a way to have it checked out?
No, I don't have a way. I mean, I could go down to my doctors, but um, I'm told that there's just some flu head chest thing going around, and
Mm.
Have you
uh,
ever done Theraflu?
yeah,
Theraflu, also another good one for helping you feel better, is my husband does Alka-Seltzer cold medicine with airborne, and it really helps him feel better. I can't do it because it tears up my stomach, but I can. I do have a powder that's like the airborne, but it's not fizzy, which helps.
Mhm.
Vitamin
no,
C, zinc, and also D3 helps.
You
I
know what else helps
I got to
is
be
that
careful about the antihistamines that I put in
Okay.
because of my heart.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
right.
The antihistamines will send my heart into an arrhythmia, and I'll just go back to where I was, and I'm not ready to do that
Okay.
just yet.
Right. You know
Okay.
what else? This is an all natural thing, but elderberry, like whether it's tea or syrup or anything like that, is really good. It helps sleep. So, oh,
Woo.
Right.
um, and elderberry is just an all natural. It's an all natural herb. So if you get the elderberry tea or elderberry syrup, that really helps a lot. So, maybe something
We
to
have an
try to.
elderberry tree in our backyard.
There you go.
I don't
I,
remember when elderberries come on. I think they're later season fruit. Yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't sound good, love.
no,
Love you whole lots too, Misha.
So, how's everybody doing besides what's going around?
Besides me, yeah.
I'm doing good. I have a little bit of a headache from painting my room,
Uh-oh.
but um, I mean that's going to be expected when you're primering and you're painting, and it's a little area. Um, so I'm just trying to get it all done. We'll see how it goes. I'm starting to see the vision. You know,
Okay. Okay.
it's I had to. I'm not even gonna lie. I had to call one of my friends and be like, I'm not seeing it. Can you help me? Because she has a really great sense of style, and she's like, no, I think you'll really like it. Just go with it. So starting to come all together, but yeah.
Misha says, Christy, air that out, woman.
Oh, I've got all the windows open. It's just it's not a tiny room, but it's not huge either. So I've got three windows open, but it's like 30 degrees here. So I've got them open, but my heater keeps kicking on. So I'm kind of trying to like find that balance of everything. And of course, my husband's like, I'd love to see it completed when I get home, and he's
Yeah.
we have two very different like styles because he's ex-military. He's very meticulous and he's very, hey Cosmic, he's very meticulous and he's got a very certain way thing he likes things done. And mine's kind of not that way. So I've gotta get everything all
You have
sorted
a
out.
more feng shui kind of a thing going on, and he has a cut and dry.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he's I mean, and it's just how people are. There's nothing wrong with it. But a few weeks before he starts coming home, I start really kind of going through and really getting because I understand it. If you're on the road most of the year, when you come home, you want it to look the way you want it to look and to feel comfortable. So
Okay.
I don't, I don't get cranky about it. I do get a little stressed, but then, like a day before, I'm like, it is what it is. And if he's gonna throw a fit about it, then, he can. I gotta move this over here. Um,
Well, I think that's got a lot to do with him being ex-military. I wasn't in long enough. I was only in 4 years, but I saw a lot of guys go from I don't give a crap to you better have the last brush stroke perfect in the room or it's not finished.
Yeah, he's always been really meticulous. I think the military definitely brought more of that on. So, but again, different styles for people.
So
Right.
tomorrow I have a consult. Have you guys seen Aaron and somebody else had him on, Andrew Gold, a guy named Jamie Mustard, who basically was put into the Scientology dormitories as a baby.
Oh wow. No, I
And
haven't seen any of that.
okay, well he authored a book called
Mhm.
In the Invisible Machine, and he talks about how trauma does change the body,
Mhm.
and it does not ever go away, but it is reversible. And I'm waiting for the book to come in that he wrote with Eugene Lipoff. Um,
Oh,
the Invisible Machine: Startling Truth About Trauma and the Scientific Breakthrough That Can Transform Your Life. I don't know if it's experimental or I would think that if medical professionals are administering it, it is at least FDA approved to do.
right. Yeah.
The therapy is called dual sympathetic reset. And
Oh.
I was going to put something on it. Let's see. Trying to One of the most promising biological interventions for psychological trauma. Let's see if I can put this up here. Hey, Plant Freak.
Hey, Stas.
Let me get this canceled. Get you in here.
Hey,
Hi, headphones.
Woo!
look at you. You got your little happy ears on.
So these are going to be my Feel Better Dream headphones, and man can have his headphones to himself. Then he doesn't yell in the
Okay.
background, "You're talking too loud." Oh, I just realized the closet was open. Oh dear.
So I was about to share this thing that I've looked into. Did you see the interview that Aaron did with Jamie Mustard? Also, Andrew Gold did an interview with him.
I saw the Andrew
He was
Gold one, not the Aaron one.
I saw the
okay.
Andrew Gold one actually too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I reached out to him direct message on Instagram, like he offered, and so I have a consult about it tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it or not, but anyway, here is what it is. I'm going to bring it up here. And it says here, one of the most, is it up yet?
Yep.
Okay. One of the most promising biological interventions for psychological trauma, stellate ganglion block, SGB, is a procedure in which a local anesthetic is injected next to the stellate ganglion, a collection of the sympathetic nerves located in the neck that helps regulate many involuntary functions such as heart rate, blood pressure, and sweating. So that sounds a little that sounds serious. For years, stellate ganglion block has been recognized as an FDA approved pain relieving treatment. Most recently, Stellate ganglion block, SGB, has been used off-label to treat symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, and depression because it helps regulate the brain's overactive sympathetic nervous system and reset the fight or flight response to its baseline.
Sounds
Oh,
like the vagus nerve a little bit.
Maybe. Yeah. So I've got some research to do, but I've got his book coming. And so I'm going to read that and then kind of do a little bit more research on it. But I do have, I will be talking to a nurse it's a free consult tomorrow. So I'll let you know.
nice.
I'll come on. I've had the consult. Give me a moment. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna let everybody know, if I see something in chat, I'll message you guys privately later. Just I can't message while I'm streaming. I only have my phone, so
Oh, okay.
I just like
Okay.
locked out. So yeah. So if anybody
Okay.
says anything, I will message back later.
Okay. Anything that comes to you, do you want me to read it out to you?
Sure, if you could.
Okay. All righty.
Thank you.
So Cosmos is going to tell us a little bit about it. Instead of eating, Lordy, Lord, Steve, I hate seeing you like this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
My
goodness.
head feel like it's gonna pop.
So instead of eating, I went to go buy critter food.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's all right.
already hungry and ready for a meal. So I don't know if I want to go past an hour today, but if we get into anything, of course I will. And, you know, I can work through it. But usually I
You know
make
what?
sure
I'm
I'm
okay.
hungry and not overly thirsty coming on here, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I learned the thirst lesson. I have 2 cups beside me now.
Well,
Well,
let's see.
it's amazing how much talking will make you thirsty,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
when you're doing it straight, you're like, hey, I need a drink. I need to drink water or hot chocolate or tea or coffee or whatever it is.
It's supposed to be a natural diuretic.
Okay.
Coffee?
Coffee, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tea as well, I've heard.
Yeah, tea is.
I've discovered cutting back on caffeine is helping me with the shakes, so we're gonna just keep cutting back on caffeine.
There you go. There you go.
Man.
I mean, I couldn't do it, but I really commend anybody who can.
I don't think I can ever cut it out completely.
Yeah.
I will need my caffeine, but I was drinking coffee like all day. So
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah.
sense why the shakes were happening.
Okay. Well,
right.
yeah, I see that. Yeah. I can't do it past 2 p.m. or I'm, they're having to peel me off the ceiling at 3 a.m.
See,
That reminds
yeah.
me of a story of taking a cat to the vet. He clung to the ceiling with all 4 legs, and I couldn't get him off. Oh. No, I can't have caffeine either. This is all caffeine free that I'm drinking. But
Okay.
again, if I had caffeine, it would you might as well just call the ambulance.
Okay.
Misha, I got coffee too. That's what's in my cup all the time.
In your mug that's bigger than your head.
Yes, but I love isn't that just so cozy? Like, I just love a good mug. Like, my aunt asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I'm like, silverware and really big coffee mugs. She's like, that's it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm always losing silverware, and I like a good mug.
As we speak, yep, all day,
All day
coffee
coffee.
bean here.
Pretty easy that way,
My daughter says to me, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I'm just like, honestly, just you and Rowan in the same place, and that's it. That's all that I need.
Aww.
And she's like, "No, Mom, like give me something." I'm like, "Nope, I want nothing."
No. Kids don't understand that though. They ask
for the holiday.
ask for something really small and get really excited about it, and they'll be happy.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. Perfect. I'll
Yeah.
tell her lip gloss. Go to the dollar store. Get me lip
No,
gloss.
I'm always losing my keys. Get me a new keychain or something, and
Mhm.
kids
Yeah, that's a good idea,
don't under
Steve.
anything.
Yeah.
Right on. Hello, Henny. Welcome.
And
Good to see you. Welcome, everybody who's here. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
So we're
Oh,
waiting for
Mandrew, hi.
Hmm?
Oh, I just said hi to Mandrew. I didn't see that he had popped in.
Hey,
Oh,
Mandrew.
hi, Andrew.
We're waiting for Cosmic Christie to come on and tell us a little bit about this treatment that I saw the author of the book. Let's see, it is The Invisible Machine. He's one of the authors of the book and talking about his problem and a procedure that helped him. That is the most
Your voice is starting to
you're
go a bit
muffling
wonky.
out, Karen,
back.
Carol.
None of it's
There we
guaranteed.
go.
Yeah.
That is true.
Mhm.
I gotta say, Stasia, I'm really impressed with the relationship that you and Mandrew continue to have with
I
your
appreciate
child
that.
in mind.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty lucky, to be perfectly honest. He's done an amazing job with her. He's done an amazing job because I had to be pretty distant for the last 11 years, and it's kind of my choice, but also the situation and the universe just saying it wasn't safe for her. So I'm very lucky, very lucky. And I was telling somebody, it was Anik I was speaking to actually on Facebook earlier today. And I was saying he's been my biggest supporter since I was 15.
That's so. That is so cool. That
You're both very lucky.
relations can exist like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky. I am so lucky.
Yeah.
Sorry
Right
it took me so long. I had to find my headphones.
So
We're gonna have to find you.
settings.
We're gonna have to find you noise canceling ones like these then.
Yeah, so I'll get right into it. So I had the consult, and so it's not into the amygdala, it's into I can't quite think of the word, and sorry, because I did just wake up and I was kicking back on the couch going, yep, righto.
It says
Yeah.
here, it's the stellate ganglion block, and it goes into, let's see, a collection of is injected
Yeah.
next to the stellate ganglion, a collection of the sympathetic nerves located in the neck that helps regulate many involuntary functions such as heart rate, blood pressure, and sweating.
Yeah, and what they inject is something similar to like epidural, and they've
Okay.
been doing it. Yeah, and it's something that's been happening. Like it's been happening. It's the drug is something that's so they inject a local. Sorry, I'm a bit scattered because I have just. But yeah, they inject a local drug, or sometimes they will put you under a general. Just depends on how you can handle it. For me, I can't go under general, so I'll just get local.
Yeah.
So they put a local drug, inject a local drug there, and then they inject the epidural drug into your neck. And it's not guaranteed. It doesn't work for everyone, and you need to know that going in.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can take up to 2 or 3 times, for it to work.
Put me
So
under. I don't want to be awake for that.
yeah, well, I've got a really low heart rate, so if I go under, it needs to be an anesthesia. Well,
Okay.
yeah. So and you generally go in, and if you do go under, it just depends on how much you want it to cost because it's not covered by any sort of health. Well, it might be. Depends. I don't have health
No,
insurance.
it's not covered here in the States by insurance.
Yeah,
The
but see,
the ones that I'm looking into.
Yeah. So, but I'm seeing if my because I'm on national NDIS, National Disability Insurance scheme.
Yeah.
So if I cut off one of my, well, two actually, because I've got CPTSD and PTSD.
Yeah.
There's a difference in both of them. Like, we won't get into that. But if I can cut off two of my mental illnesses, because I don't see my autism, you can't heal autism.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if I can cut off two of my disabilities, then that's going to be able to make me function better.
Yeah, make your life a little more manageable.
Yeah,
Definitely.
maybe we can find a different term rather than cutting off, because every time you say cutting off, I'm like, I go to finger or arm or ear.
Oh, sorry, heal, heal.
Yeah,
like
you.
yeah, sorry, because they're those two things are probably the most debilitating things. Like, I've managed with autism and ADHD for the majority of, well, my whole life. But when probably I've had CPTSD probably my entire life due to circumstances which I've already explained. But when I got PTSD, that kind of destabilized everything.
Yeah.
And that was when my stepdad died. So, and if I can just heal that, then I think a whole bunch of things would change in my life. So, and I was just like, I hate needles and I hate people touching my neck.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen The Exorcist?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen parts of it. I haven't been able
I'm
to
going to
sit through the
shut
whole
this
thing.
right down right now if we're going to talk about Exorcist.
Yeah, no, there's
No,
one thing, and that stopped me for horror movies the rest of my life. And it was needle neck, and I'm like, nah. But if I'm willing to do that to heal my life, that's what I'll do. But I'm just waiting because I'm doing a review on my funding. But anyway, and it's so that's where my fear of needles began, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So so they put it in, and it's meant to work immediately.
That's if it's going to work, you'll know pretty much right off, they say. I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not, but I may not be able to do it this year.
Oh,
It's
is this
not
something
cheap.
you're looking into, Carol?
Yeah.
Oh. Excuse me. Oh God. Okay. I didn't know that this was something you're looking into. I would.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a consult tomorrow morning.
Oh my gosh.
And
They explain it really well. It's like over in Australia, it's about $2,000 in Australian money for one injection.
It's how much?
About $2,000 in Australian money.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know. I'm telling you. I'll tell you all the stuff that they told me, because I ask all the questions at the end, because I'm just not going to be led into something without knowing.
Yeah. Well, I did ask about cost, and it's under 2,000 and over 1,000. So, it's one of those things that I won't get to do this year. I don't think. I don't, unless some miracle happens.
Yeah.
We win that Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes that Steve enters that like 2 or 3 times a week minimum. He's serious about winning that prize.
For as practical a guy as he is, that just seems out of character for him.
Well, you got to be in it to win it.
Yeah. I mean, it's cheaper than playing the lottery,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because all it is a postage stamp usually.
Oh, I
That's true.
just noticed the background and there's snow. I miss the snow.
Yeah. We have
Yeah, it doesn't.
sunshine here today, and it's actually decently warm. But
It's undecently hot.
so I wanted to read this comment by Henny here, back one. I have a book by Bessel van der Kolk, MD. The body keeps the score. Brain, mind, and body in the healing of trauma. And I know that to be
Yeah.
true. I know that to be true. You know, I used to wonder, what is wrong with me? Why does my body have this going on? And now, and everything that I have read about the body, and the damage that trauma does to it. Yep. It's good to have an answer, because it was baffling before, you know. And
And I feel
Well,
like having more answers for me is helping me. So the more I'm able to explain, I'm able
yes,
to either understand why it's there, or it's like, oh, wait, it just left because I understood.
yeah. Doctors
well,
tend
I
to
think.
treat. Go ahead.
Oh no, I think that's why I had what I had the other night when I said I needed a meeting. Well, night for me, probably day for you, was a quiet meltdown. And one of that,
Okay.
and one, it's because I'm on my new medication, and two,
Yeah.
it's because I've had a lot of
Right,
therapy,
Zelda.
and three, it's because I don't want my kid to suffer anymore, because he's seen my wild meltdowns. So I've come a long way, but like I
Yeah.
also,
I feel like you've come a long way, even since I first started getting to know you,
Yeah.
through these meetings.
Yeah. You
yeah,
really
Honestly,
have.
I've seen a change. It's pretty remarkable.
yeah,
It is.
it's just that I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with this
Yeah.
one hate. It's not helping, but it's
And
also
it's
like
so
this.
easy for everybody else to say, well, what are you exhausted from? And
It's
then you have to
exhausting
come
to
up
carry
with
all
an
that
answer.
around.
Yeah, then you have to come up with an answer for them, and they don't deserve to know the answer unless they've been through what you've been through.
Or at
Yeah,
least can lend a more empathetic ear, rather than, a judgy ear, like, well,
Judgmental. Yeah,
what's wrong with you,
yeah.
perfect.
Well, I was sitting on the couch and just tears streaming down my eyes, and my housemate was like, "What's the matter?" I was like, "It's my third Christmas without my daughter." And he's like, "Well, it's the eighth without my son." I'm like, "Well, your son is 8. My daughter is 20."
Yeah.
And it's not like a trauma, and I wasn't trying to make it a competition,
Right.
but he did, like, he started it. Like, don't start on me when I'm like just sitting there, like,
Right.
just
If you're
quietly.
sitting there crying, yeah, that's the wrong time. The
Yeah,
wrong,
like, and
wrong.
I wasn't even talking about anything. Like, I was just sitting there, like, just, I wasn't sobbing or like making a big deal. It's just like, sometimes just you can't help the tears. They just
Right.
fall out. Just tears just fall out on their own.
Yeah, and
So
we as empathizers, and we as loved ones and lovers and husbands and boyfriends and girlfriends, and we feel guilty a lot of the times because we can't help that, and it's frustrating because we want to be the fixers, and we want to be the knight in shining armor, and it's frustrated when we can't be. It's frustrating,
Yeah.
and I understand how he feels, but at the same time, just let me have a good cry.
Yeah.
well, it's not like I even wanted to cry. I just thought about her,
Yeah.
and No, because I sent a message to her boyfriend because she's got me blocked and everything, and just because I send a message every now and then just so I don't bombard her, and I don't get a response. I haven't got a response here. The last time I got a message or any sort of anything was my birthday, which I appreciate,
Yeah.
and it's just like I don't know, it just hurts. But
Yeah.
but at least I know she's out there, and
Yeah.
that's better than anything, you know.
Yeah. Well, is there an amount of time that she wants you to be clean before she will talk about you know, you guys having a relationship again?
To be honest, it's not up to her. It's up to me. I'm not going to let someone else set
Okay.
time limit for me.
Okay. Well, she made the
Um,
demand. What did she say about it? She just wanted you to be sober, period.
um, me and my sister talked about it last night, and like it is a goal, but it's not for her. It's for me. Because there's still a little bit of a, you know, trauma back and forth. you know,
That
so
sounds intense, Sarah. I have cerebral palsy. I have doctors who want to treat pain like I'm a normal person, but my nervous system is all effed up. That sounds intense. Painkillers don't work for me, she says. Set that yeah, it is good for you to set that boundary for yourself. Yeah.
yeah. Oh gosh, Sarah.
So is the reaching out going to be up to you or up to her?
It's up to her. I just make sure that I'm not going to be like my mother and like be silent for 7 years. I leave it, at least every couple of months I send a message just to make sure she knows I'm thinking about it every day
Yeah.
because I'm not my mother.
You
Oh,
know,
so I am in some ways.
Cosmic, I have been disconnected from my youngest son for about 5 years. And
Oh,
and it is hard. The holidays are really hard. Um, and I think you're doing the right thing. Just reaching out and saying, I love you and I'm still here. Um, and they'll have to come around when they're ready to come around.
yeah.
Now I'm able to like check on him through his sisters, and I try not to be, nosy. I'm like, don't tell me anything that's because my son is actually living with my youngest son is actually living with my oldest daughter right now. And I said, I don't want to do anything to harm that relationship, but is everything okay? So it is hard. It's hard when they choose that, and it's hard for you as a mom
Yeah.
to hear that. Um, and it's hard to go through it. And I'm sorry. I just wanted to know that I understand how that feels. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a hard place to be because
Yeah.
you can go through you can go and you can have a month of days where it's just fine, and then there's one day you just sit down and you're like, oh my goodness gracious, and
Yeah.
it just kind of comes out. And but I think you reaching out is not bombarding her, but saying, hey, I'm here is a good thing. But setting you know your own timetable and your own things, I think, is really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's meant to be Christmas, and we hate Christmas together. So, and you love Christmas, so.
It took me a few years to get to the point where I was like, okay, I can do Christmas. I was very grinchy for a very long time. But
Ooh.
Well, it's all a show for me. I actually love the day, but I hate the lead up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
See, I like
No,
the lead up because I like to decorate. That's the part I like about Christmas. I don't really care for much of the other stuff, but I
yeah.
actually, believe it or not, I actually like buying gifts.
I hate going to the shops.
I like buying gifts. I just can't keep a secret well enough. I want to tell everybody what I bought them because I get so excited. And
Yeah.
I think part of the reason why I hate Christmas so much is because I've worked in retail for 25 years. And so from, it just runs you, when you start having Christmas music and everything playing before
Oh
Halloween,
God.
like right after Halloween. And then, everybody's nice for like 2 weeks. And then you see the most horrendous side of people. And that goes from about the beginning of November, it gets really bad between Thanksgiving and like the 20th of December, and then even into January. So for me, I think it was just it was my job, and I got treated so terribly by the customers and everything that I was like, I don't want to see a Christmas tree. I don't want to hear a Christmas song. Like to this day, Christmas music, I can't do. I've got a couple Christmas movies I can watch, but Christmas songs, because it's all I heard from like October to mid-January.
As
I'm
soon
like,
as I hear Mariah Carey, I like turn off the radio.
yeah,
Yeah, that really does kick it off for me
you
too.
know, yeah. But I mean, like I said, mine was just more kind of, because I had done all of those, that holiday stuff, and I was kind of like, yeah. Merry
That's
Christmas
where I
to you.
go to YouTube and put on Fleetwood Mac. That's my
I
Right.
do like Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers Christmas because that reminds me of when I was a child, when things were like
Yeah.
I didn't know what I know now.
Yeah. I didn't have to adult.
Right. Right.
in our lifetime. Most of us sitting here in our lifetime, Christmas has morphed into something that is so evil and so
It's commercial.
retail
Mhm.
oriented and advertising rich and and when we were all little children, at least the people on the top row here, I'm not sure how old Stasia is, but we've seen Christmas morph into something that it was never meant to be.
I would have to agree with that. I'm 36. But I would say that for me, it's also, I've had the retail side. I've had the call center side as well, which I find it so much worse when you're in a call center, you can't see them, and they're freaking out on you. You're calling me this soon to Christmas, why? And then, I don't know, my personal traumas as a child, losing my mom so young, Christmas just never was enjoyable for me. So
Right.
Mhm.
I would say the last few years I kind of faked being excited about Christmas. This year I'm trying to find new hope in it because everything's
Yeah.
changed so very drastically. So I'm just trying to find new hope in it and something, think about the kids, and that's about it right now.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's such a hard time of year. There's all these expectations of us to be, happy and cheery, and we build it up in our mind, and we've got like this Hallmark Norman Rockwell idea, and nobody ever has that. And one of the best things I ever heard was, and Tommy touched on it. I don't remember if it was today or yesterday or at some point, but I had somebody tell me, especially in the social media age, you see everybody through the lens they want you to see them through, but it's not a true lens. Like it's not really who they are, and that's true. And you kind of, I think it should be okay to not be okay with Christmas. Like you
Yeah.
shouldn't have to apologize. If
Yeah.
somebody's like, yeah, that's not really my thing, like nobody should make somebody feel bad. You know, you
Yeah.
should just be like, oh, okay, cool. You know, I mean, and but it's not that, you know, and I remember when I was really grinchy, everybody was like, oh, you know, Christy's just an old Grinch. Well, yeah, but Christy kind of has a reason to be a Grinch, you know, and I think just like we should normalize mental illness and you know addiction and all of that, you know, just even the normal everyday things. Like, yeah, it's not my thing,
You
you
know,
know.
I wonder how much the shortened days plays into how difficult it is.
Oh, I think it plays a lot into it because, you know, having lived in various places that don't get a lot of sunshine, where it gets dark sooner, and or like in Washington State where it's always kind of overcast and gloomy, it really does affect your mood. I mean, it really does. Plus, you know, you've got to think it's cold. Like right now, I'm cranky because it is so cold outside, but it's not snowing. We haven't had snow. And I'm just in here and I'm like, if it's gonna be cold, can't it just snow? Like otherwise just be 60 degrees and look like fall. And it don't get me all excited that I'll have this beautiful snow come down. You know, but I get cranky about that, right? And so I do think it does. And it's a time, you know, you think traditionally winter is a time when everything slows down, it shuts down. Nothing is growing. Nothing grows in the winter time, you know. Um, and it's dark, it's gloomy, it's overcast, it you know gets
The
dark at
leaves,
5 o'clock.
fall off the tree. Everything dies. You know,
Yeah,
there's no pretty fall colors anymore. It's either white
That's
or it's dead.
so the
Yeah.
opposite to Australian Christmases, apart from the leaves falling off the trees because we get drought.
yeah, I mean, and that just boggles my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Except
I'm
now
so
no,
that it's
confused by a summer Christmas.
a little bit, but yeah.
yeah, no, we're walking around in like tank tops and shorts and oh well, I call them jandals because I'm from New Zealand and I get laughed at, but I don't care.
Right. Well, I
Oh,
mean,
sandals.
Well,
And
I
also,
think
Carol,
you
I
call them
know.
flip flops.
yes.
Flip
Carol, I know
flops.
this didn't
Yeah,
have
what's
anything
wrong
to
with
do with
that?
what you wanted to talk about today, but if you
No,
want to
no,
go
it's
back,
fine. It's fine. It's a
okay,
meeting.
yeah, okay.
Well, no, we talked about it. The Stella Centers,
Yeah.
like look into it. I like I said, I'm waiting for funding.
Yeah.
Because my funding has to roll over because I'm getting a review because I used up my funding that was meant to be for a year in 7 months because my first 5 months of the year I was dealing with my issue that I have to deal with next year that I can't really talk about. But yeah, so I used up my funding real quick because I have a very good carer who made sure that I did. Well, actually, not that I didn't need it because I used it because I needed it, but that's how the
Yeah.
system works. You don't use it, lose it. You know.
Okay.
um,
It
it's like
doesn't roll over to the next year.
no, it did roll over, but
Okay.
it wasn't enough because I hadn't. Like you have to go to an occupational therapist to get a functional capacity report, and I hadn't had one of those because seeing an occupational therapist is quite expensive,
Okay.
and um, and if you're paying for it yourself, yeah, they're like $600 or something, or actually for a full report, it's about $1,000, and I was on a carer's payment myself at the time, so looking after my daughter, so I couldn't afford it, so I had to wait until I got on the NDIS to get the report, which was funded by the NDIS, you know, so it was, oh God, it's a whole, I'm lucky that I did this caring for my daughter, and I actually paid for most of hers out of my own pocket, which was paid for by the government because I was paid for her to be her carer by the government. We have a pretty good what do you call it?
stipend or something?
No. Social.
Subsidizing.
No, you know how when they look after you, when you're looking after people with disabilities or something like that, social thing. I don't know.
My dad in Canada is called PSW, Personal Support Worker.
Okay.
No, I can't think of what to call it. Like, I've actually just totally, my mind has totally blanked. Like, social security.
Oh.
Like, if you don't have a job, they help you until you get a job.
Employment insurance and all of it. Well, we would call it employment insurance here, and then there's different taxes on it. There we go.
I wish I could get my mother-in-law hooked up with something like that because she takes care of me so much.
Yeah, so I was a carer for my daughter since 2008 until a couple of years ago, and but the government paid me to be her carer, and before that I was on a parenting payment because I was a stay-at-home parent because my kids needed full-time care.
Yeah.
I had to get I was constantly getting called to go to the school to pick them up because they were either suspended or because my best friend lived up the road. Well, as I say, I had many best friends. Everyone's my friend. So she lived just up the road from the school they were going to at the time. So Angel would climb the tree, kick the principal, and then wander up the road and go to my best friend's house. And I get a call from her and go, "So Angel's here." I'd be like, "Oh God, I'll get a taxi," because at that time I didn't drive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, she was raucous, and this was before I got on medication. So Angel I never got to see the benefits of her being on medication. So because by the time she got home from school, and I never medicated her on weekends or school holidays. So so I never got to see her being good. Good.
You never got to see her enjoy the fruits of what the medication can do for her.
Okay.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. I just thought she was a little bit quirky, just like me, and that's why I didn't say that she was autistic. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I just she had a day at school and she needed to let it all out. So, and she let it all out until sometimes 2 or 3 in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was, and that was until I learned to not say it's time to go to bed. I'll be like, it's time to go read a book. And I found the Dr. Zeus, actually it's Zeus, sleep book. And she'd be like, "Mum, can we read the doctor?" It was her that initiated it in the end. And can we read the sleep book? And then we'd read the sleep book. Although we wouldn't read it until the end. And she'd just look at we'd make up stories about the pictures and the words. I should have known right from the beginning. But I didn't know because she wasn't recognized because they don't, autism doesn't show up in girls a lot of the same ways as it does in boys because it was only studied in boys. They're only just now
Steve,
studying
are you
it in
okay?
girls.
Steve?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
You need to rest.
Sorry, I'm droning on.
I have a headache.
Yes,
do you need to rest?
Yeah, do you need rest?
No, let me try to power through a little bit.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm droning on. If anyone else wants to talk about something.
I just wanted to check in because I was a little bit concerned. That's all. I want you to continue, Christy. I just wanted to check in.
No, I'm good.
I
was-
promise you, if I need to bail, I'll bail. How's that?
Okay.
Okay, that's a good promise.
Same, Sarah.
No, I heard that too, Sarah. I remember that being a thing, that girls couldn't have autism.
Mhm.
And I was
And,
also told that mothers caused autism by not giving enough love. I saw a movie about it. I watched a movie about it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was I can't remember what the movie was, but it was like if a mother didn't give enough love, that's what caused autism.
Wow.
You know, and that is so brutal to put on a mom. My grandson is autistic. My oldest daughter, her son, who is her first child, is autistic. Now he's very high functioning from what I understand, how I'm learning all about it. You know, he's very little. But she blamed herself so much. And I can't imagine somebody saying to a mom, you caused this because you did not love your child enough.
Total
Like,
BS.
I think if I would have heard someone say that to my daughter about my grandchild, I don't know what I would have done. But mothers, I am so sorry. Any mother could have ever heard that, you
Everything
know.
that's wrong with their child,
Hey,
that's
wee
not their
man.
fault, it's always their fault somehow, you know?
Yes. Yeah. And it's so not true.
Hi, buddy.
Hi, guy.
We have a new sign now. He looks over and he goes like this, and I'm like, yeah, hey, good. And then all of a sudden, you'll see him back here.
Okay, who's he dressed up like today?
Miles Morales, Spider-Man.
Okay.
Very
Ah,
specific, because there's different universes for Spider-Man. So you
Yeah.
have to know like which universe it is, and then there's 2 different universe Peter Parkers. Well, technically like 5 now.
I'm just gonna
why stop at 2 when 5 is better, right?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna PJs, so I'm gonna go back off camera.
Okay.
So yeah, no, and they also, like there's that study that said that like I don't know what that means, that the study that said that oh, actually, when I went to church, funny story. Some Actually, she's very lovely, and people have a right to their views, and she just is uneducated. I said that I don't know. I'm an oversharer. She came. I said that my daughter has autism because she wondered why my daughter didn't talk. Because my daughter came with me because she's interested, but because this was a new church in my new town where I live now,
Mhm.
and we also are going to a lunch after. So, um, she's like, oh, did she get the booster? And I'm like, no, she had autism well before. Like from vaccines. Like she thought she caught autism from the COVID vaccine. So I'm just like,
What?
I'm just like, I'm just like, no, she had, I was like, she had autism a few years ago. So
I had somebody in my life. Oh, sorry.
No, it's
That's
okay.
exhausting.
Yeah. And I had somebody in my life who understood, like, well, for them, they understood that vaccinations could cause autism. And they were like, well, there's this new study that, like, there's this fecal matter thing that can happen to resolve autism. I'm like, to be perfectly honest with you, whatever it is that you're thinking, whatever it is that you're saying, stop, because your grandchild is. You really need to get your head wrapped around this. You need to understand that this is who they are. Like, stop trying to change them.
Hi, Lord Jeffrey.
Hello.
I am very diplomatic, and I've gotten used to it because I will walk. You know how they have those donation stands where they try and they stop you, and they're like, hi, and and I just pretend that I'm already donating, and I just chat to them because I just can't seem to walk past them. And I'm like, he's like, do you know about kids with disabilities? I'm like, yeah, my kid's got a disability. I have a disability. And he's like, oh, what disability? Autism. He goes, you don't look autistic. I'm like, what does autism
What
look
does autism
like?
look like?
He goes, oh. I'm like, yeah. Well, anyway, you have a good day. Bye.
How much time do you have?
Sorry, Steve, I didn't hear you.
Haney says,
Yeah.
Steve loves Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac. Meant to tell you before.
Yeah.
Yeah, saying, tell me lies. Seems like everybody does.
You like
Yeah,
it-
no, but it's, sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, if you don't like Fleetwood Mac, you're not my people. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Right on, Sarah.
Whoa.
So yeah, what does all that look like? If I'm sitting in a chair, you don't know I have CP. Yeah. What's it supposed to look like?
Well, one of my most favorite people has CP, and you know, she's not defined by it.
No.
And they think that there's one diagnosis for every, like a guy's daughter I used to work with had PTSD, and he said, "Well, you just got to stay away from that one trigger." I'm like, "There's more than one trigger." He said, "No, there's not. There's one thing you have to stay away from." I'm like, "Listen, you're my boss, but you're dead wrong, and you have no idea what this entails if that's what you think about PTSD."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually had to tell my son off. Well, not really tell him off, just sort of tell him he needs to respect me a little bit more because he's hanging around with tradies now. Tradesmen.
What's that?
Tradesmen, like landscapers.
Like clean and air guys and stuff like that. Oh, okay.
Landscapers, yeah.
Yeah.
And in Australia, they're pretty rough, I guess. So, and my housemate is a landscaper as well, and he's also a Kiwi, and he's grown up around people. Like he grew up pretty rough. He's pretty gentle now and stuff, but he picks on me all the time. Like, and I can take it, but right now I'm pretty sensitive.
Yeah.
And I can usually give back.
Around in that world, or
No, just in New Zealand, like, you know, like it's a pretty, like in Australia, New Zealand, like it's a pretty sarcastic. I can't know how to describe it. Like we joke a lot.
Like,
okay.
is
Yeah,
is it like British humor?
a bit rougher.
Okay.
British humor is a lot drier. You know,
Okay.
I prefer British humor. I'm very dry, you know, like people don't know I'm being condescending until I tell them, basically, which is how I like it.
Steve, a great example of like their humor is Flight of the Conchords. That is a wonderful show.
Yes.
I absolutely love it, but that's a good example on New Zealand humor.
Yes. Yeah, but they're actually quite higher level than tradies. Yes. Yeah, most they're higher level. Yeah.
I love that show.
I've got hurt feelings. I'm gonna turn my camera off again because I'm still in my jammies.
I wanted to come back around to you know, not being okay for the holidays. You know, there's got to be a new way to approach it instead of acting like everything's hunky-dory and great and isn't it a wonderful time of year. Yeah, I like the music. Yeah, I like to decorate, but I'm grumpy as get out. All get out, you know. I don't really try to hide it because I can't. And since I've adopted that stance, Christmas has not been as traumatic a day. I gotta say. No,
Yeah. Well, I agree. You know, like I've come to terms with the fact that I might not spend Christmas with my daughter for another 3 years. And I'm just, you know, I act the Grinch until Christmas Day, and then I play with the kids. You know, I am the one who swivels on my chair, and you know, and I am the one who, you know, looks after I am the one who is the kid watcher.
Could
Okay.
somebody please explain to me what epistemology is?
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know what that is either. Can you help us out knowing what that is? Let's see. Epistemology.
Well, while we're waiting for that definition, you know, one thing that I have found helps me, because sometimes people will, and I'll tie it back to Christmas. Just hang with me. Sometimes people will ask me, you know, like about my faith, like what I believe, or you know, whatever. And a lot of times my response is, well, it doesn't look the same for me as it does for you. I don't believe it the same way, but that's okay. And I think that's like a good response, because it's something, it's to the point, you can't argue it,
Yeah.
and there's really nowhere to go from there. And so I think if you just maybe, if people would just start saying, you know, Christmas isn't the same for me as it is for you, and that's okay. I hope you have a good day. You know, because then how is anybody going to argue that with you? You know,
Yeah.
and I think that it makes me really sad that people don't,
Respect.
yes, and aren't more compassionate
Yeah,
around it.
true.
You know, because I think it's a very hard time of year, you know,
Yeah.
and so many people struggle from Thanksgiving all the way till, you know, after the first of the year, really. And, you know, it's like this big elephant in the room that nobody talks about. Everybody knows people struggle. Everybody knows
Yeah.
that it's real. So why
Yeah.
are you pretending? Like,
Yeah.
just, you know, like, realize how difficult it is, you know?
For most people, about ignorance, epistemology doesn't really work unless they want to be educated in some way, or you might just be hitting a brick wall. Okay, I guess I can look it up.
Yeah, what's the definition?
Yeah.
I really like that example that you gave there, Christine, though, because I struggled for a lot of years not having my daughter around for Christmas, and it was hard to explain to people. And it was like, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to tell you what the issue is. And I think it's a really good way of explaining it. And nobody can come back at you. Like, my ADHD brain was going like crazy. Like, how do you come back to that? You can't come back to that.
I don't have the mental energy to tell you right now.
Or it's none of their business. Like, it doesn't,
right.
you could have all the mental energy in the world and it's just none of their business. And, you know, where I learned that sort of type of comeback was actually from my ex's mother when I was dealing with him. She was a crisis counselor, and she said the best way to shut people down is to have a pat statement that is factual, to the point, and cannot be argued. And if you have those three things, and that's really how I've learned to speak about different things, you know, it's like, okay, like I said, I don't believe the same as you know, I don't see it that way. That's okay. You know, and it applies to anything. It applies to narcissistic abuse. It applies to, you know, do you want to drink? Do you want to go to this party? You know, why do you not like Christmas? And that's the one thing I tell everybody: come up with your own little pat answer. If you get asked something a lot, come up with an answer that is just short, to the point, can't be argued, and always have it ready to go. and it
And
just
that
kind of
person
shuts
who's
you
going to be
down.
practicing in the mirror. Should be the person
Yeah.
practicing in the mirror being like, hey, no, this still doesn't look quite right to me. So we're going to fix this.
I mean, and it's, let's see, what are they saying? It's okay. It's understanding someone else's point of view without degrading them or negatively responding to them.
Yeah.
Christmas,
Okay. Now that
Okay.
I can get on board with.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And then Cosmic says Christmas is about family and friends regardless of faith. Absolutely. And those who struggle, it's about grief and loneliness. Mm-hmm.
A young
But
Hasidic boy came up to me asking if I was Jewish and offering matzah. I told him, let's see if we can get that to come up here, that he was a wonderful, kind person to give people who are hungry matzah, though it shouldn't matter what religion they were. Yeah, they were just that they were hungry. And matzah soup is so comforting.